Dirk Blocker plays Detective Hitchcock on the comedy series Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but acting isn't the only thing on his resume. He is now a published author, and here to talk all about his literary debut. You don't want to miss it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to a mini spotlight where we shine a light on all the rising stars in music, TV, and film, and this time, books. I'm your host, Morgan Willett, and with me I have Dirk Blocker. Dirk, how is it going tonight?
Fantastic. I'm so happy to be here.
I am so happy to talk to you. We've got a lot of exciting things to chat about, but before we get started, for everyone listening, you've got a lot of exciting stuff coming out. Where can everyone keep up with you on all social media?
Well, I've got a Twitter account, and I've got an Instagram account, and I've got a Facebook account.
You do it all.
I'm trying.
So is it just Dirk Blocker?
Yeah.
Is that?
I don't know what else to call it.
I mean, your name works perfectly.
Well, that's good to hear.
All right, well, okay, so you have a children's book coming out.
Yeah, I like to, yes, it's suitable for kids for sure.
Okay.
I think a parent might want to read with a smaller child.
All right.
To kind of, you know, some of the language. I didn't really write down to kids or for kids specifically. I like to call it a fable for youngsters of all ages. I
love it.
I think adults might like it as well. I hope so.
Okay.
And you know, there's also great illustrations. Eric Scottness is a friend of mine, and he's a muralist and a great artist, and he did some incredible work in this book. I'm so proud of it.
So it's called Master and the Little Monk.
Master and the Little Monk, correct.
What was the inspiration behind this?
You know, I was challenged in a writer's workshop that I was in some 2 or 3 years ago. To try to come up with something that might deal with the themes of Dharma in terms of purpose in life, and that was all we were given. And come back in a day or so and see what you got, type of a thing. And so this developed out of that. There's a poem by Rumi that I really loved that kind of gave me a launching pad, and when I write, I don't tend to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to write this. That rarely happens. I'm really that lucky. Usually I take a walk in the woods, do a little contemplation, a little meditation, and something kind of starts bubbling up. And that's what happened here. And my wife loved it so much. It was her favorite piece so far of the things I'd written, that she insisted. She just said, when you have the time, I want you to do something with this. And I said, okay. I'll do whatever she says.
If it wasn't for your wife, would this have never been published, you think?
You know, probably not. I mean, I shouldn't, I mean, maybe, but you know what? She's right, always. And I don't say that just to get in her good graces, because sometimes I say, no, we're not doing it that way. But then at the end of the day, or the end of the week, or the end of the month, or the end of the year, I go, damn, she was right.
I hope I'm like that.
I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be.
I'm sure she's loving this right now. She's like, yes, I am right.
That's right. Yeah, right.
All right. So when is this book? Is it out already?
It's ready to launch. Really, what we're waiting on right now is just the website that's still being designed and put together. I think probably any day. So I can't give you a hard and fast date, but I'm sure before the end of the month. And
then, so when writing this book, have you always written kind of for a younger audience, or is this the first time this is kind of what you've done?
Again, I didn't really think in terms of my audience.
Okay, you just...
I didn't, and I don't when I write. I just write. I write poetry, and I write short stories, and I worked on some screenplays and this and the other. And I just kind of, I hate to say it, but I kind of allow the story to write itself, and I like to think, when things are going well, I'm just kind of the conduit. The story is there somewhere in the...
I love it.
And sometimes when I'm really lucky, it kind of flows through me.
And so the illustrator, I had a chance to look at it, is incredible. How did you come across him?
He did work on the television show I work on, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's a muralist, primarily. I mean, but he's just a brilliant artist. And I liked him a lot. And so when I started thinking about this, I think, you know, I really want to get someone to do some illustrations for me. So I approached him because we'd had a good, rapport, and I just told him, I said, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to be looking for an illustrator. Is that something you'd like to do? He said, well, I've never done it. I said, well, I've never published anything, so.
It works out.
So he said, let me read it. So I let him read it. And he said, I love it. I just love this story. So I said, well, that's all I needed to hear. Let's do this. So and my God, his work is just beautiful, I think.
So how does that work for those? I mean, I don't know how going about illustrating a book and all that. Did you tell him what you wanted? You said, oh, I need this illustration, or did he just read it and he comes up with it?
Both.
Okay.
Both. He would come up with some ideas on his own, and other times he would say, I don't know exactly what I should be doing here, and we didn't want an illustration for every paragraph. We kind of tried to pare it down to what we felt was necessary, and sometimes halfway through the work, because the book was, the story was written, but although I did continue polishing it as we went along, but he, he might say, I might find some inspiration or something. I'd think, oh, you know what might be cool here? What if we added this element or that element? And he would say, oh, great. Or he'd come to me and say, I was thinking, what if we did, So it was great. It was great collaboration, and it was just fun. Yeah, I feel a little bit like what a producer must feel like, because I'm kind of helping get the website figured out, and I'm helping him figure something, and he's helping me, but it's all cool.
I'm sure it's so rewarding too to see everything, because it started in your head, and then now all of a sudden it's full circle and it's on paper with illustrations.
I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited. Some of the themes that again, without my meaning to necessarily, some of the themes it kind of touches on is abandonment, issues of abandonment, and maybe bullying a little bit. But these things, like I said later when I read it, came out to me. Oh wow! Look at that! Look what happened here. It's really the story of a lonely young man who's got some challenges in his life. He's got things going on that are a little difficult. And he's kind of an outsider, and he's assisted by an ally that maybe he didn't or anyone might not see coming, and they go through a journey together.
I mean, it sounds like, especially with all the negative stuff that's going on in the world, it sounds like this is a really positive story that anyone of any age can take something from.
That's the way I look at it. I do. I think it's if I do say so myself, I think it's just a sweet little story. It's a sweet story that might give someone a little reprieve from all the tension and stress that's out there in the world today.
Well, we all need that.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Well, okay, so I know you're an actor. You're Detective Hitchcock in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. How did you kind of go from acting to being an author? When did that idea come up?
Well, I don't know, again, if it was so much an idea. I mean, acting kind of came to me. I was still in high school when I was approached by someone who saw me in a play and said, I think you might be able to. I said, really? I wasn't really thinking about it too much. And the next thing I said, oh, well, this guy's legitimate. And so I met a couple of people, and then I was under contract at Universal Studios, and one of the last of the contract players. This is way before your time. I mean, you probably, you probably never even heard of it. But in the old days, yeah, they used to put young people under contract, and then they would help them train and put them in shows and this and the other. So that was very cool. Kind of learned a lot there. And then just it blossomed. I've been doing this for over 40 years now. Started young. I was 17 when I started. So at any rate, but the writing is kind of the same thing. I mean, it's all storytelling. All of it's storytelling, whether it's acting or, in my view, it's even music. It's all, for me at least, it's all about storytelling. And so writing, isn't a long ways to go for me.
Is there one that you think you would prefer more? Do you like kind of being in front of the screen acting, or do you like being behind writing?
I like them both. I like it all. I do. I mean, if I spend too much time away from acting, then I probably say, I am ready to get back to work as an actor. But then after the 22nd episode in the 5th season of this show, I was thinking, man, I can't wait to get home and sit down at my desk and do some writing, So I like it all. But it's like I say, it really kind of comes from the same area for me.
I mean, it sounds like you're the perfect fit for everything you do. So with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, we're in the second half of the 5th season?
That's correct, yeah.
And that starts when?
Sunday, the 18th, which is this coming Sunday.
This
coming Sunday at 8:30 on Fox, which is it's right after The Simpsons.
Okay.
So it's between The Simpsons and The Family Guy. And we have 11 episodes left in this season, so it's the second half of our 5th season. And I think it's some of the best work we've done yet. So if you're a fan of the show, I think you probably want to watch it.
Now, I saw somewhere that this might be the final season. Do we know that yet?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. you know, one thing that happened is that Disney bought Fox, so there's no one. I mean, someone can say to us, slam dunk, you guys are back, and they might get fired tomorrow. So, I mean, really, I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen. But no matter what happens, it's just been the most incredible blessing ever. 5 seasons, 112 episodes, working with the most incredible group of actors and writers, and the crew. We're all a family, and it's, I get emotional actually just thinking about, you know, that it may be over, but I know it's going to be over at some point. But I would have absolutely nothing to regret or feel badly about if we didn't do any more. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I wanted it. I would love to do some more.
Keep going, 10 seasons.
Come on, let's go.
Well, what is one thing, can you tell us anything that we can expect from this season? Any sneak peeks?
Let me think here, something that I wouldn't get into trouble for saying. Well,
yeah, don't get in trouble.
Well, Jake and Amy are working towards tying the knot.
Okay.
So, and Captain Holt is putting himself in a position to maybe get, to be put, you know, elevated to a loftier area. But there may be some issues with that, not just personally, but maybe within the NYPD.
Okay.
Same with Terry, our sergeant. He's like looking to do some other things. Amy, who played by Melissa Fumero, is she's already become a sergeant on her own. So I mean, things are shifting and changing. Rosa Diaz has come out about her sexuality in her life, and which makes her more grounded, and she's like, it's, you know, a thing of acceptance and love, and everything's just cool. But then Scully and I, my partner Joel McKinnon Miller and I play Scully and Hitchcock, the old farts, the old fat guys who get in the way but solve stuff once in a while and kind of surprise everybody. There's some more of that going on. I mean, it's like when you think you can't depend on these two guys to do anything but eat pizza, suddenly we come through big time.
Come in the clutch moments, and that's what matters most.
Yeah. Right, like a clutch shooter in basketball. We just three-pointer.
There you go. Score. All right, well, Sunday, we're tuning in.
Good. Yes, we should all tune in, please.
All right, and then last question, one more time. When does it come out? We don't know yet. Any day now.
Sometime in the next few days.
Exciting stuff.
I'll announce some kind of launch,
All right.
and we'll get something going. I wish I could give you a firm date. It's just the.
All right,
it's the website.
We'll stay tuned for that, guys. Cool. And thank you so much for joining us.
Oh man, thank you so much.
Of course, excited to read the book.